What's up, guys? Thanks for coming to Gaming Canada with me. First off, Merry Christmas. Second off, it's This Week in Homebrew. Only a couple of Switch stories this week. As you can see here, this is a new release by Nico AICP, and it is Xci Reader. This is actually a program for Switch cartridge dumps so that you can get all the information about them. As you can see, get the game serial ID, the needed firmware to run the game, as well as the region. Gets the ROM size and checks to see if it's been trimmed or not. Gets the full cartridge size, as well as getting random checksums or something like that. Way over my head. You can also extract or inject a cert. Now, I have no idea what that means. Hopefully in the future, I'll become a little more savvy on the Switch terms and what's going on with it. A few little screenshots of the program. As you can see, this is where all the information would be displayed. Pretty cool, nice little clean program. It's awesome to just see things moving forward so fast for the Switch. Over here on Michael Sire's Twitter page, and as you can see, there's just a picture of a Switch screen with a blue screen of death on it, and the only thing it says is oops. Now, not a ton has been released about what exactly went wrong, or even if something did go wrong. Some have speculated that we now have the ability to show video on the Switch, and meanwhile others are speculating that this is some sort of horrible error screen. I'm gonna say it's somewhere in between there, or maybe it's something that was meant to happen and is sort of a controlled outcome, and that would be a good thing. Let me know what you guys speculate down in the comment section below. Hey, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. More This Week's in Homebrew coming every week. Almost every week. First up is the only Wii U story, and it's actually more of a Wii story. As you can see, Cyan03 as well as DMOC have updated USBLoaderGX. If you've followed my virtual Wii tutorials, then you probably have USBLoaderGX set up on your virtual Wii. If you're used to that version, there isn't a ton different with this update for the Wii. As you can see, all you can really do differently now is scale the videos in GameCube mode, as well as set Nintendo to the default GameCube application. So basically, everyone only uses Nintendo and they don't really use any other source of playing backups. So they've gone ahead and just set Nintendo as the default GameCube loader. Nothing insanely awesome, but it's cool. Updates are still happening for stuff way back on the Wii. I like it. For the 3DS, I'm going to get the updates out of the way really quickly, and then I've got a few PSAs as well as a couple new releases that we've never seen before. Up first, we're over on Aurora Wright's GitHub, and as you can see, there's been a new release for Luma 3DS. If you guys haven't seen my video about Luma 3DS version 9.0, go down to the description and check that out. Get all caught up to speed. I have a couple of noob explanations in there breaking down what is updated in this new release. And I know what you are wondering, are the crashes fixed? Not 100%, but they do happen a lot less often. Up next, we have a new release to FBI by Steve Ice, version 2.414. Now, all this really added was a retry option for things that failed, so any operation that happens to fail, you can now tap retry and try it again. If you want to update to this, there is an update feature within FBI itself, or you can download the CIA and install it, or replace the 3DSX file in the root of your SD card in the 3DS folder with this one right here. That is if you happen to use FBI from Homebrew, like I do. Up next is a new update to 3DS ident. Just a day after I told you guys about the last update, Joel16 Hard at Work dropped this new update. Basically a couple of little bug fixes for the Wi-Fi and whatnot. If you guys want to check it out, here's where to get it. Now, along with the Luma 9.0 update came a new update to BootNTRSelector to get BootNTR custom firmware working better on Luma 9.0. Just a few days after Luma 9.0 was released and the new update to BootNTRSelector was released, Nankida's dropped this new one, version 2.11. Now, this happened to fix some issues with the old 3DS, so if you've got an old 3DS or a 2DS, you might want to go ahead and grab this new version of BootNTRSelector. If you watched my cheat menu video yesterday and you're on a new 3DS, then you're probably already on the newest version. Now, here's something I forgot to mention last week. I actually shot the clips and left it out of the video, but as you can see here, Rob Zate has helped release a new version of NDS Bootstrap. Now, along with this NDS Bootstrap and the newest version of TW Loader, comes with a ton of new game compatibility, so check this out. Final Fantasy IV now compatible. Lunar Nights now compatible. European and Japanese versions of The World Ends With You now compatible. I know a lot of people will be stoked on that. Madden 2005's acid colors are now fixed. Miami Nights singles in the city. Not enough memory message is now fixed. For 3DS users using TWLoader, here are a new list of games that have near full cart speed. So if you're looking to get that real Nintendo DS experience on your 3DS and you don't have a flash cart, but you do have TWLoader, you're definitely going to want to check out this release of NDS Bootstrap. Advance Wars, Animal Crossing, Castlevania, Dragon Ball Z, Supersonic Warriors 2, Final Fantasy 3, Kirby Squeak Squad, Kirby Superstar Ultra, Lost in Blue, Lunar Nights, Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Mega Man ZX Advent, Miami Nights Singles in the City, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team, Ridge Racer DS, Sonic Rush, Sonic Adventure, WarioWare Touched. There's some really good games in this list, yeah, so we're probably going to be making a video about this really soon. Sorry to Rob Zate for accidentally leaving this out last week, but yo, here it is. Over on GBA Temp now, there is a brand new release, and it is a translation patch for Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 3. Now, I don't know anything about this game, but it is a Japanese to English fan translation for this Dragon Quest Monsters game that has never came to the USA. As you can see, this is a full translation project, including the menus, custom font, story NPC dialogue, network support, in-game image translation, and new localization terms for monsters items never used in English before. Now again, I don't know much about this game, but if you guys are interested in seeing a video of me installing this patch to the game, then please go down to the comments and let me know. Hey, while you're down there again, could you hit that thumbs up button? It really helps out the channel. Up next, we're over on the 3DS Hacks subreddit, and as you can see, the big homie Homebrew legend that has brought us awesome things such as God Mode 9, etc., has now brought us a new bootloader called Fastboot3ds. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know what this is about, but as you can see here, straight out of the horse's mouth, Fastboot3ds is a bootloader for the 3DS console. It's intended to be installed to the firm0 partition. It allows you to assign Homebrew in .firm formats to boot slots and to chain load boot slots via either a boot menu or a button combo of your choosing. Fastboot3ds also contains basic tools for NAND backups and restores. Now, it says it's been thoroughly tested, but they suggest having an NTR boot card to resolve any bricks that you may encounter. So this is not exactly the homebrew for the main 3DS user to check out. You know, this is more for advanced users or people that are looking to do a little bit extra with their 3DS. If you do want to try this out and you happen to have boot9strap installed, you can go ahead and rename fastboot3ds.firm to boot.firm, and it should load when you turn on your 3DS. In short, to my understanding, this is somewhat of a Luma chain loader that's going to allow you to boot into different firms that maybe Luma chain loader doesn't allow you to boot into. And it's going to do it a lot more quickly. As you can see down here, Psychic Pancake asks, what's the benefit on using this over Luma chain loader? Speed and customizability. With Luma, you typically load boot9strap and then Luma and then your payload, so Luma chain loader. With Fastboot3ds, you turn on your system and you load Fastboot3ds instead of boot9strap and then go right into your payload. So although not very useful for the end user, a pretty cool little thing that takes a step out of the process. Up next is some 3DS flashcart PSAs. So don't buy any flashcarts from r43ds.org. Also, don't buy from 3dsflashcart.com. Now, I believe I recommended you not buy from these a couple of weeks ago, but as you see here, 3dsflashcart.com is creating accounts and using it to spam 3DS hacks and other subreddits. Now, while this isn't a very big deal, as you can see here, the R4 SDHC dual-core 2017 as well as the R4 RTS 3DS are the exact same card, and they both contain time bombs. So after a certain amount of time, these cards are not going to work any longer unless you install a different firmware onto them. As I say, there's a potential that you could maybe flash a different firmware or use a different type of firmware such as YS menu to get around the time bomb feature of these carts, but for most people at a certain time these things are just going to stop working. We're not too sure exactly when, but apparently if you set your 3DS to 2020 and you try to run one of these things, it just doesn't work. A couple of bonus stories for you guys that like Sony out there. I'm hoping to get a little bit more into the Sony stuff, but I honestly don't have any of the consoles or anything currently, and it might take me a while to acquire them. As you can see here, this is RPCS3 compatibility list. So this is a PS3 emulator, and this is the compatibility list for it. As you can see here, over 20% of the games for the PS3 are now playable from start to finish. That is an absolutely epic achievement, and the PlayStation 3 emulation scene is on the rise. I might have a video fairly soon about PlayStation 3 emulators, but as I say, it's not my forte, but I'd love to try to get into it. One other thing is some Psp emulation news. So as you can see here, version 1.5.4 came out. Now it came out back on December 5th, and obviously I didn't make a video about it because I don't really do anything Sony. But if you guys want to see this emulator, which is actually available on Windows or Android, go down to the comments and let me know. I'd love to try to get this running, as I've barely even played a PSP in real life. It'd be cool to check one out. One of the main things they tote with this is that you can play your games in almost double the resolution, even on most modern Android phones and tablets. I'm very interested to see a comparison of the native PSP resolution to something maybe like 4K PSP. If you guys know of any good PSP games that I should check out, again, down in the comments, let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like the addition of the PlayStation stuff, please go down to the comments and let me know. I'd love to try to include it every week in This Week in Homebrew. If you have any other suggestions for things I should include in This Week in Homebrew, again, down in the comments, let me know. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Hit that thumbs down if you dislike the video. Hit that big red subscribe button if you want to see more. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Have a great Christmas, or just have a great holidays in general. I'll see you soon. Peace.